Hey everyone, so today we're going to do a chair class and we're going to use a foam roller for a little bit of feedback for the spine and for the back so that you can find your anchor points. What I've done with mine is because the back of my chair is a little bit further back than the bottom, I've put a grippy in between the top and my roller, and then I've just strapped it on. You could tie it on. You don't have to do this. This just keeps it in alignment. Otherwise, when I lean back into it, this part would press back. So that's what I've done. And then I just make sure that whatever I tie it with is going to hit where my low back hits, so that it's in a kind of a space of void anyways, instead of a space that we're wanting to anchor. So we're going to sit on our chair. And what's nice is this is a smaller chair, so it's going to put me at the front of my seat, which is what I want anyway. So we're going to get it in front of the seat, and then I like to kind of move the flesh away so that I can feel my bones, my sit bones down into the chair. And then first thing I'm going to line up is my sacrum. So I'm going to find my sacrum reaching into the roller, and then my mid-back. And maybe the mid-back just doesn't meet it yet. So what we're going to do is a little bit of lengthening and engagement exercise. So I'm going to bring my hands onto my belly. You can even bring one onto your hand, pat your head, rub your belly type thing. But this could just remind you to get taller. So we're going to breathe in, and on your inhale, I want you to think of the air reaching back into your spine and your spine growing taller. And then on the exhale, think of your belly pulling back away from your hand. Shoulders stay relaxed. So inhale, we find length and space in the back. And then exhale, we find that low belly drawing in and up. And we find a little bit more engagement maybe in that mid-back. So what we're focusing on right now is finding that opening in the space in the vertebra. So imagine your vertebra, and on your inhale, imagine those disc space expanding and you getting taller. And then on your exhale, imagine all of those little multifidi, all those spinal erector muscles drawing up the spine and keeping your spine nice and tall. So building your foundation before you move. And then after we've done that, we're going to keep our mid-back, keep all those anchor points in, keep our head straight ahead. So optimally, we want our head reaching into the roller too, but for mine, it kind of moves. So as long as you know it's back there and your spine's and the neck's along and you're not back here like this, then we're good. Shoulders stay relaxed, and from here, we're just going to add a little arm float up. So we're only going to float the arms as far as we can without this mid-back popping off. So what we don't want is the ribs to come off, and you see how I have space back here now. So we want that mid-back to stay into the roller as you move. And then we just float the arms back down. So you can think of the arms kind of moving like a puppet. So they inhale and float up, and exhale, they float back down. So this move is not so much about our arms moving, but about us staying connected into our roller, which is going to work all of those core muscles. Okay, we're going to do one more of these. And then I want you to stop when they're in line with your shoulder. We're going to bend our elbows, and then from here, we're going to open the elbows back. And again, we're going to do this without popping our rib cage. We're going to keep those front ribs just kind of melting into the back ribs, our spine lengthening up the roller. So we open and float back in. We're keeping our shoulder blades nice and relaxed. They're just falling down our back. So the other thing we're looking for is that our shoulders aren't coming up here and that we're moving up there, but we're keeping our shoulders relaxing down, just falling down the back. sides of the spine is staying equally weighted into your roller as you switch from side to side, and that there's not any rotation happening, because this is solely the arms scissoring effortlessly. So it's an intentional movement, but we're doing it effortlessly in the arms. But we're staying very intentional and focused in our back body. Good. And then float the arms down. You can keep the hands on the legs if you want, or you can let them be by the side. Same thing, we're keeping everything anchored in. And now we're going to go to a float of a leg up, and then float the leg back down. So what we're paying attention to, we're going to stick with this leg for a few, is that as we lift up, we're not allowing our tailbone to rock forward. So we're keeping that sacrum reaching back into our roller. We're keeping that mid-back reaching into our roller. So if anything, think of growing taller as you float up. Thinking of this staying drawing in. So again, it is a float of the leg. It is a little bit of work in the leg, but it's more work in the back body, in the core. If you've ever had the thought that you can't work your core because you can't lie down and curl, then now you know you can. So of course, if you wanted to, knock this up a notch, you could always bring your arms up. So I'm going to do that for the next one, but you put your arms where they're comfortable. So we would float a leg up and back down. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of gently floating the leg. I'm keeping all my points in. I'm gently setting my foot down. So imagine when you go to set your foot down, you're letting it rest back on top of a pool of water, and you're trying not to create any ripples. So we could just let our foot drop. We could just do this, but it's not very intentional, controlled movement. So we're intentionally floating our leg. I like to take a pause at the top, and then very slowly float back down. So now we're going to start alternating. So I'll float. Right now I'm floating the right. My shoulders are staying relaxed. So if you get up here and you start feeling tension come into your arms, into your shoulders, allow your arms to just rest by the side. As we get more adept at this, we could also add the opposite arm floating up from the leg. So anytime you're moving, I want you to do it with intention and control. So moving slowly and allowing all of those core muscles to kick in. Good, relax, shake it out. So from here, you could be done, because just those few little exercises that we did is a lot of work. You could go back, if you notice that one was a little more challenging than the other, then go back. If you notice, I can't quite yet get my back into the roller, then put a little pad there to find it. And as you get stronger and as the core strengthens and as you're able to find that length, then you can take that out. From here, you could always take this exercise into a sit to stand. So anytime we're doing sit to stand, we want our knees tracking with our toes. We're going to hinge forward and look where we're going, and then we'll push into our feet to come up. So I like to think of it like I'm pushing the ground away to come up to sitting. From there, we could sit back down, find our chair, that's what's going to help lift you. We think it's all in the legs, but a lot of our balance and a lot of our strength comes from those core muscles. Them and our legs also are going to be what sets us back down. So look ahead, engage everything, find that low belly lifting, find those back core muscles lifting, push the ground away and come up. And then you can carry on your day. So that's a nice little short chair workout to start building the foundation. So the most important thing when we're exercising is that we find and build all of those structural foundation parts, and that's our core muscles. That's, here, that's those back, because if those are not strong and they're not developed, then we're going to compensate somewhere else as we go through everything. So we've probably gotten to an area in our lives that we've kind of like a house, the foundation might have got hit by the hurricane and we've put a jack underneath there to kind of hold ourselves up. And that could be, we've went into a hip, we went into these other areas of the body. So now what we're going to be doing is building those structural muscles to support our space, to support our home, our body again, so that we can get rid of those jacks. So enjoy, and love to hear your feedback. See you next time.